JC, I was walking outside, man, and I saw all these kids with these hoodies on. It's like 92 degrees.
It is 92
so
degrees.
I'm trying to figure out what is the trend now. Is it just like overheat myself? Is it just like heat exhaustion? Like these kids walking around like they packing a tool everywhere they go.
They got something to hide.
What's happening right now, dog? Like I don't understand this right now. But I'd say this. So we got the squad in the building.
What's going on? Your little squad, mini squad.
Little empty around here. A little empty. But what's going on, YouTube? This is your boy P Kid. I'm in the building with my man JC.
What's going on, everybody?
We're gonna be holding it down. Yeah, Steve-O, I said preachers. Yeah, he preaches. Did I spell it wrong? I may have spelled it wrong. But if I do, oh well, you know how I get down. It's one of them shows today.
No, but you said it right. George preaches patience with Caleb.
I thought so. I thought I was on point with it, but Steve will be like to mess with the boys. I don't know what's happening right now.
Maybe he's questioning why he's preaching it.
I'm saying he needs to stop. But we got the squad in the building. Me and JC gonna hold this down for you all, and we got some interesting topics today, right?
Yeah.
Right. We're gonna hit this off on this Friday with obviously talking about Joyce McCaskey's statements as the chairperson for the Bears now, and he's preaching patience. He's like, hey, be patient with this one. Typically, the number one option doesn't come into the situation, but he's still a young QB. We're going to get the squad's thoughts on that one. We're also going to get some news around the league, right? NFL has been a talk of the town.
Yep.
Obviously, the season's about to start, so we're going to break that down as well. And then it's Friday, so we get to do a free-for-all, man. So at this point,
hey,
listen,
we
just gonna talk.
This is sports. A P Kid day because now he can just go off the rails.
Ice cream. Let's do it, man. But JC, we in the spot, man. Talk. Who is this? Why is he there? Why is he there?
Who are we talking about?
That's Joel. Why is Joel?
MacGyver music. I updated the date for y'all. Appreciate it, Joel.
Hey, I appreciate it. Hey, but anyway, help me out real quick, JC. Talk to me about George McCaskey. Tell me what your thoughts on his comments. Break down what the comments are. If you have the article up, I do.
Yeah. So on Thursday, via the Chicago Sun-Times, Patrick Philly mentioned that McCaskey had said some things about Caleb Williams, basically saying typically in a situation with the number one pick going in the draft, he comes into a situation, or usually that draft pick comes into a situation where it's going to take a little bit of time to kind of get things rolling, get the ball rolling, maybe he getting himself a little bit more acclimated to the league, to sports. And we've seen that all around sports, right? Usually a number one pick goes to probably the worst team in the league that's developing, that's coming back up, that's retooling, doesn't have a lot of talent on the squad, which is why they are usually awarded the first pick. But in this case, my opinion on does he need to preach patience? I wouldn't say he needs to go around and preach patience. Is there a need for a little bit of patience? Is there going to be a need for maybe understanding there could be a rookie wall? There could be, some growing pains. Absolutely. I think that's the realistic thing here that we need to keep in mind. Everybody, including myself, we're going nuts about Caleb Williams. We've seen the crazy highlight plays and even in the short spurts, in the preseason. And so everybody's really looking forward to seeing what he can do in a full game. He looks confident. He's saying the right things. He's saying he's never been nervous since high school. Like he's doing and saying all of the right things. He's in the playbook. And so my opinion is I don't think we need to preach patience. I think we just need to preach an understanding that, hey, there's going to be ebbs and flows, maybe not from game to game, but maybe like quarter to quarter. Maybe there's a few times you see in a drive where maybe he just makes the wrong read, but then he gets back on the horse and he's passing that thing to Cole Kmet, DJ Moore, DeAndre Swift, Keenan Allen. I mean, Roma Dunze, like he's throwing the ball all over the place. And my thing is, because you have the weapons that you have on this team, the expectations shouldn't be limited in a sense. Like if we didn't have the team that we have around Caleb, then yeah, you expect the number one pick to kind of go through those growing pains, kind of like the old regime. And of course, your boy, Justin Fields. We didn't have this type of team around him. We didn't have, outside of DJ Moore. Even when we didn't have DJ Moore when we drafted Justin Fields, you had Darnell Mooney. You had a host of you had Dante Pettis. You had Equanimity St. Brown. Like that's the type of team where you can expect, okay, going in, there's going to be some growing pains. There's going to be some development. This is not the year where we can expect a lot of wins or getting to the playoffs. But this specific year with Caleb, oh yeah, sky's the limit.
I agree with that. I think the funny thing about it is we live in it's a very biased. It's like, what have you done for me lately? We're kind of caught in a moment as fans, and CJ Stroud really ruins a lot for us. Joe Burrow really ruins a lot for us. Why do I say that? Because they had success at a crazy rate when they first entered the league. CJ Stroud took the league by storm. Realistically, even got MVP votes as a rookie. And we see this setup being very similar to that.
Yeah.
Those are two people out of the entire history of the NFL.
Exactly.
Those are two guys, right? So while I think the league and the players coming into the league are better, I think Caleb and I think these QBs that are coming to the league are more prepared. They have more technology. They have more camps. They have more exposure to things that QBs in the past didn't. They're still young men that's still trying to figure certain things out. And while he has all the tools here, I'm not expecting him to have CJ Stroud once in a lifetime type rookie season. I'm just not. Do I think our team as a whole should be better than it was last season? Absolutely. And so I agree with that. And I agree that Caleb should be able to make better plays than Justin did in certain situations.
Yeah.
But I also think that, let's be honest, Caleb is not the athlete Justin is. So some games we did win because Justin definitely was the athlete that he was. You can't knock him for that.
Yeah, to a degree. Yeah, absolutely.
And there's a lot to be said about that. But again, Justin didn't have this roster either. And so it's one of those things where he's spot on. And we definitely should give patience to our rookie QB. We should rally behind him because this is our QB. This is our franchise QB. Like, this is going to be the QB that we rally behind for the next couple years. Get with it. Let's support him. Do not be those type of fans that sit there and after the first bad game, we clown them.
Oh, man.
That's going to be that's the part
Tennessee.
And
Houston.
I mean, if you even look at CJ Stroud's, games, he didn't throw a lot of picks, which means he took care of the ball, which I like. But he did have some games that was like, he did have some low completion rate games. He did have some games where he was under pressure. He just didn't turn the ball over. And that's good. That's great. Statistically, that's great. But there's some games where he didn't look good. He looked like a rookie. And at the end of it all, the totality of the season, we got to the point where we were like, hey, he's an MVP caliber type QB, and look at the talent that he has. But it wasn't always like that. Jordan Love, look at how people rate Jordan Love right now. I know we don't like to talk about the Packers, but like Jordan Love's first couple games, he wasn't good.
No.
He ended that season on such a high note that he's considered a top 10 QB by many people. Heck, who was it? Louis Riddick said he'd rather have him over outside of Patrick Mahomes. He'd rather have him. Was that what Louis Riddick said?
That was Louis Riddick. Yeah, and I don't know about that. That's a hot take right there. I understand he got hot at the end of the season, but I mean, there's plenty of other quarterbacks I'd take over Jordan Love, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson. I mean, come on, been there, done that. I'd even take Jalen Hurts over Jordan Love still. With the team that he has.
Fam, name one thing.
I know you ain't getting on me about.
Listen, I'm about to go back to Caleb because I'll go way off on this tangent right now.
I was just about to say because you have love for Sam Darnold. Okay, don't talk to me about quarterbacks. Don't talk to me about quarterbacks.
Hey, Sam gonna hurt himself trying to pass with nobody hating him.
No, I'm sorry, not Sam Darnold. Sam Howell. That's who you had an affinity for. Sam Howell, Mr. Interception and touchdown guy. The previous year, you love that man.
No. What we tend to do is remove context, bro. You can't remove context from a player and say he trash. Like, I put the context in.
I know.
Jalen Hurts with full context is trash. I don't care what nobody says.
I wouldn't say he's trash. Or I would say his team makes him better. I wouldn't say he's trash. I would say trash, bro. That's a strong take, bro. He's
a strong running back, which is why.
With you, man?
Hey, he's a strong running back. That's what it is. I hope that Saquon gets yards.
But you know what? to your point, though, of talking about just like the expectancy around, the city and the organization surrounding Caleb Williams, I think the reason why we as fans, we as the media, we as analysts, we don't want to put it like a leash on Caleb Williams. We don't really want to see any sort of limitations to Caleb Williams because all of us have been craving for a legitimate quarterback since Sid Luckman. And I just looked this up in an article. It says Luckman played his last down in 1950, folks. He was enshrined in Canton, Ohio in 1965, and he passed away in 1998. I was 10 years old when he passed away.
Jesus.
We need a quarterback. We want a quarterback. We hopefully think that we have a quarterback because he's doing things that we haven't even seen, on a special level. And here's my thing. Even if he goes through, here we go with the Lions fan. No, don't start the patience talk now.
JC. You know what we got?
Come on.
You know what we got?
What we got?
What we got? Hold on. Do I got the right? We got over 100 in the chat.
Oh, we got
over 100 in the chat, though. Got over 100 in the chat.
That's how we do it. Shout out to everybody. You know I got to get the freeze pump. The freeze pump. Come on now.
Hey, my man was.
That's always for the first 100. You got to get the pumps in. Come on. He said, y'all talk tough all season. Steinberg, I don't want to hear you. For the last 40,000 years, the Lions have sucked. They've only had 2 good seasons the past 2 years, okay? Somebody told me they think they're going to make it to the Super Bowl. Forget y'all, okay? We appreciate you supporting the channel, all right? Appreciate you, Don Burr. All right.
I love Don.
But
you talking about Sid Luckman, though?
Yeah, Sid Luckman, man. The fact that we've had a quarterback that, has been years removed from the league, passed away years ago. I'm talking like 10 years old I was. So I'm saying like we're craving for a quarterback that we can trust for the long haul. I mean, you look at, and unfortunately we bring this up, but it's true. You look at Green Bay Packers and the organization, they go from Brett Favre to Aaron Rodgers, and, it possibly looks like Jordan Love is going to be at the very least a competent quarterback. And so for me, even if Caleb Williams has to go through those natural growing pains as a rookie, my thing is, well, in those moments, can he still be a game manager? We're not always going to see the creator side or the super flashy, off-script plays and amazing plays all the single time. Even Caleb said that he's not out there to be flashy. He's out there to win. So with that being said, Caleb will probably commit to, hey, you know what? If I got to look boring winning this game, I'm gonna do that. So there's moments where maybe he's just not, he isn't on, he doesn't have it during a game, but he still is going to get us to the point where we can win. Maybe he doesn't throw a touchdown, but in those clutch moments, he gets us down the field where we're in field goal range and we can kick for a win. That's what I want to see. Those are the growing pains that I think that I want to see, instead of saying, well, let's preach patience and say he has some things that he has to kind of go through. He's going to make mistakes. Yeah, sure. We know that naturally for every player, they're going to make mistakes, but I think the expectations are heightened because of the team around him.
And this is whether you have to ask yourself, if as a fan, are you okay with someone just playing the script? Are you okay with Caleb going out there and just being a game manager? Because the roster that we have will allow him to at times just be a game manager.
Yep.
Like realistically, I don't need Caleb to be Superman realistically if the line holds up and DJ Moore is getting open. Because if DJ Moore is not getting open, guess who else I have?
Hey.
I have a whole squad of people. This is a all. I was going to say all pro receiving core.
No, you'd be right.
Actually, I'd be right.
DJ Moore and Keenan.
Realistically, we have all pro potential receiving core this year.
Yeah.
Realistically, he shouldn't need to do more than just get that ball out quick and facilitate. He shouldn't need to. Now, you win on the backs of your quarterback being able to make plays when things break down. That's what we keep talking about. That's where the off-platform thing keeps coming from.
Yeah.
But if he's just out there managing the game appropriately, he's going to get his numbers and it's going to probably look good. But we should be happy that we're finally having someone who can actually help us win. And Poe's just put together a whole roster. I think most of the time we've talked about this. I've praised Poe's ability to put the entire roster together. Because if Caleb ain't doing too hot, I am dependent on my defense to keep us in games.
Yeah.
If our defense, if Caleb is cooking and maybe our run game suffers, I am respecting our receivers to get open. I'm expecting our tight ends to actually do more than what they would do typically in other situations. Like we have key players in every like we have a squad. We got a full squad. The only thing we don't have realistically that we put faith in is a line. Would you disagree with that?
The only thing that we
Offensive
don't have
line.
is a good to great offensive line. And I know we mentioned this in the conversation yesterday about, who we're coming up against or going up against as far as rivals in the NFC North. The Lions, you look at their type of line. I mean, they're far and away probably one of the better offensive lines in the entire league, let alone the division.
Facts.
But for us, I mean, you've seen it throughout the preseason, man. We're trying to interchange. We're trying to see if Nate Davis is even going to be in the starting lineup for the right guard position.
Is him and Anthony Davis related?
Anthony Davis, I mean, day to day, as far as what
Anthony
they
day to day. I mean, no, it's Nate
street clothes
day-to-day
and day to day. Yeah, they hang out with each other. Yeah, on their off day.
Hey,
yeah,
both these dudes are king of PTO.
Oh my God, vacation, boy. They can't wait till they take off.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so I mean, like we've talked exhaustingly about the need for more talent. We have the depth there. You have I think Bates that went down, so I believe Coleman Shelton is going to be the starting center. You got Tevin Jenkins. You hope he stays healthy. You got Braxton Jones, who's a steady force at left tackle. You got Kieran Emagaji, who's coming back, who's healthy. You got a host of names that are good on this offensive line, but you still want them to be a little bit better. And so that's what we're hoping, is that does improve, year to year. But for now, I would say they're a little bit above average. I would say they can hold their own more than probably in the past couple of years that we've had. So,
what's interesting, though, and while I actually resonate with George's sentiments on patience, is because I'm in a bunch of different Bears groups online, right?
Yeah.
And there are people like, if we don't win the North, it's a failure. Polls failed.
This year?
That's the something. If we don't win the North, we failed. If we don't have 11 wins, we failed. It's like, you all do realize that just like Poles is the GM of this team, there's GMs on the other teams who have to keep their jobs, and they do a good job building their teams, right? There's multi-million-dollar players on the other teams as well. So, like, the Green Bay Packers had a good draft, if you ask me.
Yeah, they got a lot of good cornerback play.
Minnesota, no, but Detroit, we do
JJ
expect them
went
to
down
be
for the season. Yeah, that sucked.
Detroit, we do expect them to be back in the playoffs. I mean, there's no reason, like, you would. As a Bears fan, I hope they fall off, but like realistically, I don't see it happening. So like not winning the North doesn't mean we failed. Yeah. Not having 11 wins doesn't mean we failed. Like, everyone else got better as well, or everyone's trending better as well. So it's like, hey, let's curb our expectations. Like, if we go to the Super Bowl, great. If we make the NFC champ, great. Like, that's not the barometer of success right now, though. Like, that shouldn't be bang or bust. In our rookie season, when our first year with Keenan, our first year with Rome, all that, stop it. Get some help. Like, that's stupid. Like, I don't understand it. Get some help.
Yeah.
But be excited. Root for your team. Support the team. But also, like, be realistic too. Don't be an idiot. That's just all I gotta say about that. Any other comments before we move on?
Yeah. I actually wanted to point something out, and this is kind of like where we talking about as far as the high and lows and what we can expect from Caleb, or what we should expect. This is why we shouldn't really put a limitation on Caleb and being probably one of the better quarterbacks we've seen, even from the beginning in his rookie season. And P Kid, shout out to you, because you're the one that mentioned this going into this about, in a 17-game season, the averages that he has to break in order for every Bears rookie passing record to get beat. I mean, it's astronomically low. Like the bar, Jesus. you could step over the bar. It's not even in the air. It's not. We're not doing the limbo. Like, it's on the ground, literally. So it's 129.1 passing yards per game, 0.7 passing touchdowns per game. They don't even have to throw one a game.
Jesus.
65.8% completion percentage. And 82.2 passer rating. That is absurdly low.
You said a what passer rating?
82.2. That's like a C, a C plus, a B minus. That's an average game. That's like a 220-yard game with one touchdown and maybe one pick. Like, 82.2 passer rating is very doable game to game. Like that's the definition of a mid quarterback, if we're going to be honest. Like, he can surpass that. You're talking about, like, even what CJ Stroud did. There were a few games where he had, some up and down, some ebbs and flows in the beginning, and then he started to take off. That's how I see Caleb Williams doing, especially, again, with the strength of schedule, us having kind of a soft schedule in the beginning. I think that Caleb can kind of get the motor running and getting a little bit more acclimated, easier to the league, because we have so many up-and-coming teams that we're facing, in the league versus the challenging teams in our division later on in the season.
You know what's funny? CJ Stroud had 6 100-plus games rated at a QBR of 100 or more. Or QBR 100 or more. One of those games that was 147. Man threw for 5 touchdowns, 0 INTs. 470 yards. Like, Jesus, 470 yards. That's the
breakout game right there.
Yo,
that's the breakout game.
Was that man? Like, who was? Who were
he
they
was
playing?
On the heater. Somebody
Tampa.
made him mad.
They're playing Tampa. Oh, that was a good game.
Yeah.
I got to go back and watch that game. Yeah. The funny thing is, I think Caleb can have that. I think Caleb's going to have several of those games where, man, 82 points. That's so low.
Yeah. Yep.
You know what? To average that you average it out
17
over 17 games. That means there was a lot of games. Oh, Jesus. I don't even want to look it up because I don't want to kill the kid anymore.
What, you talking about Justin?
Yeah, I don't even want to look it up anymore.
Probably not.
Because if I look it up, then it's going to be like I'm hating on him.
Well, I think anybody's going to think you think that anyway. But no, to me, it's a foregone. Like it's important that we put a little bit of a pause on how hype we are, but don't push back too much, And so yes, George McCaskey, even though he and shout out to what's his Chubbs. What does he say? Super chat.
Hey, shout out to Chubbs, man. He says George McCaskey has the football intelligence of a field mouse.
Oh my God.
Jesus. Okay. Tell us how you really feel. But thank you for supporting the channel. We really appreciate it. Thank you so much. George, the sentiments of Chubbs are not the sentiments of the Windy City Breeze. He just supports the channel. We definitely appreciate his sentiments, but yeah, we don't think you have
we don't fully agree. Yeah, we don't
you got out the way. The fact that you hired Poles, hired Kevin, and got out the way, you're a genius man to me.
Hey, that's a fact.
Just took you 10 years to do it. But you're a genius man to me.
At least he got the ball rolling. It is what it is. But no, just to kind of wrap that topic up, I think that, we can expect some special things from Caleb. That's what we should expect. Again, he's a rookie. We have a lot of high praise for what he's done already, how he's looked in college, what he's done to this point, what he said he wants to accomplish. I mean, he's taking all of the pressure on him. And so I don't think the moment or the season is going to be too big, according to even his own words. And so, we're just going to kind of sit back and look forward to what's going to happen. What we got? Chicago Bulls. What is Hayes talking about?
No. Hold on. Send more super chats so George can get another haircut.
What are you talking about? I just got a haircut, brother. You trying to say?
That's not what I want to put up there, though. I want to put this up there because now I got to talk about you. Listen, Crimson, I love you. I really do. You've been a good supporter.
We're talking about the Bears.
But I want you to understand this. I was talking about Caleb highly way before.
Yeah, you've been on the Caleb bandwagon.
I've been on Caleb for a long time. Now that he's our quarterback, I'm just like, hey, this kid's it. We just need to be a little patient because I know how Chicago is. I've lived here my whole life. I know, well, except for when I moved to Indiana. But anyway, I know we're haters. Chicago has no patience. We put everyone on Jordan's pedestal as if it didn't take him 7 to 8 years to get there.
Yeah.
We forget all of that. We just say, win now. Shut up. It don't happen that way. It don't happen that way at all. Stop it. But I appreciate your sentiments, and I'm all in. I just don't sit there and respect mediocrity like you all do. So Crimson to sit there and rooted for Justin as if he was the next best thing since sliced bread, and I was just like, nah, that ain't what I see at all. That ain't happening. But all right, we'll move on from it.
Hey,
I don't have time to go in on you like that, but I will if I have to. Don't even worry about it.
I guess everybody wants to smoke because Hayes is getting on me talking about I need another haircut. I literally just got this haircut maybe a week ago. I know you ain't talking about nobody's haircut saying I average 90 days.
My man said, I've never heard you talk of it. Yeah, that's wild. I'm not even going to let you get cooked like that. I'm going to move forward. Baby.
Every 90 days, my boy.
I'm going to move on. He said, oh, please, I've never heard you talk about Caleb like you talk about Kirk. It's because Kirk is actually an NFL quarterback.
Well, Kirk's been in the league for years.
Thank you. It just makes sense. Kirk is an
just
NFL
got here.
QB.
I gotta back him up on that one. You know what I'm saying?
He's an NFL QB who's put up a QBR of exactly what we just said. CJ Stroud put up for the last 5-6 years. Jesus, what are we talking about here? Hey, listen, get some help. Anyway, moving on to this thing, man.
By the way, Hayes, cut that 90-day beard, man. It's getting to be a tinge of orange, brother. You got to get that going here. Go ahead and get that worked out.
You do know that he's like a ginger, though, right?
I have no care in the world. I'm tired of Hayes. Hey, listen, I got to give him one. I got to give him one. My man. I love you, Hayes. You know you my boy.
Title on his what's the name was it the bearded ginger or something like that? I ain't trying to diss
Shout out to Hayes,
it was something like that, right? But
anyway, he's all good, man. What we got next?
Anyway,
brother?
Moving on to the next one, man. I wanted to actually talk about some just this is a Friday free for all. It's a lot of different things that have happened in the world of sports, a lot of things in the NFL. In the chat, put down some of the most interesting things that you have seen or, kind of stumbled upon. I got one that I think is pretty interesting. Dag, why y'all going in on my boy Jordan? Hey, Levante,
fire your boy Jordan.
What is going on? Back up my boy Jordan,
bro. Hold on. Let me take my hat off.
What? No, hold on. What's the camera? Hey, listen.
What's the problem? I'm trying to figure out, like, it ain't that bad. Like,
it's
yeah,
not
it's
that
been
bad.
like
Hey,
5-6 days.
You
Like,
definitely could have brushed it a little bit. But
okay, I could have brushed it out. You know, it is what it is.
Come on, George. Why you do? Come on, baby. Hold on.
All
I'm
right,
trying to hold
okay.
you down, dog. Wait a minute. There you go. All right.
Okay. All right. Boy, don't turn this into a Friday free for all roast session, because I've been waiting. I've been holding back from Hayes for a minute, but let's just focus on that. Okay. Let's just focus. Let's focus.
News around the league. Obviously, we all know Cowboys are in some interesting situations, and I've always wondered this because Jerry Jones has been around forever.
Yeah,
I mean, really forever. But do you think that some of the stuff he does for the media is just trolling, or is that how he really feels? I'm kind of stuck because I think sometimes he's trolling just to see what happens and see how people reacts. And he doesn't do a good job at it, but I think he is because he ends up eventually paying the player.
Yeah.
Like he ends up paying these people what they asked for, at least getting them a good deal. Like we just saw it happen. So it's like, what was the point of the media circus? Like I'm kind of confused as to his I guess you want to say management style? I don't know. But to me, it's one of those things where I was saying I appreciate the super chat from Chubbs again. He said, I'll go in. Justin is a bust, but still making the mistakes in Pittsburgh. He can't outbeat a washed Wilson. Denver is paying $31 million to play in Pitt. You know, you're not wrong about that. He didn't beat Russell Wilson. I don't think Russell Wilson is washed, but you're not wrong. That's a crazy segue back into the random news. But all right, listen, I'll say this. I simply want to know if get your thoughts on it in the chat. Do you think that his antics are going to cost him his star players? Do you think Micah is going to?
I mean, it hasn't happened yet. I mean, the main star players that he's needed and wanted to be here have still been here. He paid Dak when he needed to pay Dak. He brought Ezekiel Elliott, even though I don't understand what that
was a crazy
bring back. Yeah, I don't understand what that.
No, his first one was crazy. He brought him back.
Yeah,
Zeke
I don't know what that is all
Zeke
about.
in any other jersey didn't make sense to me. I didn't like the way it looked.
Yeah, but it just feels weird. It's like that time has passed. He was a household name years ago. Like, you know, you could do something. You could do something.
Yeah,
else with that. My thing is, yeah, he's paid his players. Like sometimes people just lose patience, and of course with the media they have to talk about something. And so, you know, I think with his way of managing and paying his players, some people don't like it. They're not feeling it. They don't vibe with it, but it gets done. I mean, CeeDee Lamb is one of the best wide receivers in the league, and he got paid as such this year. So, I mean, yeah, you can't really complain because in the end, that's all that matters is it happens. I mean, you just looked at an example of with San Francisco. You thought Brandon Ayuk was possibly going to be going to Pittsburgh or going somewhere else.
I never thought he was leaving.
He just got the bag. I didn't think it at first, but then as it dragged on, I'm going to be honest with you, there was a part of me that thought maybe just for a moment that he would, you know, be interested in going elsewhere.
Yeah.
You know, just to kind of put the pressure on them. And that's what it is. It's a give and take game. It's a game between the player and upper management, the player and the GM. Like, you know, that's how they do it until they get on the same page and then you get the bag.
You know, the funny thing about it is, I see, I like this question by Levante again. Appreciate you tuning in, Brody. This definitely can impact the Bears because it's somebody we could go after.
That's a pipe dream. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't really think that's going to be realistic. It sounds good.
They can't pay both of them.
They can't. But do you think Michael really is going to be here? I mean, don't get me wrong. Ryan Poles needs to get on the phone and at least try. Like you tried for Judon, you dang near better try for Micah Parsons because Dak's going to be prioritized.
Hear me out. When you finally get the right people in your front office and they start to change culture, that entices more people to come play. It entices more people. When they see that you're making moves, they see that you're a player's GM, which Poles has proven to be. They see that you're really, you know, focused on winning and not just like, you know, doing the same old. That gets around. And the players talk about Ryan Poles in a way that we haven't had in Chicago in a while. Caleb, you know, when you see a young talent like Caleb winning like cures all. People really believe, whether you're a fan of the Bears or not, that we have something here.
Yeah.
And so when you start to see that across the league, that entices people to want to come be a part of that, because the one thing that Micah doesn't have that everyone thinks that we're going to get soon, and I hope we do, I'm definitely one of those people, is we may have a real shot at a championship. We
Absolutely.
may have a real shot of making
the window's opening up. Window's definitely opening up.
And so people want to be along for that ride.
Yeah.
And we see it a lot in basketball, but we're starting to see it more. It's kind of always existed in both sports, but like we're starting to see it more now that media is more accessible to all these players. We're starting to see it more in football now as well. So I don't think that the Bears are out of the conversation. A name like Micah Parsons, like somebody like Micah Parsons becomes available, like you got a shot, Pose is picking up the phone to make the call. Like you have to make the call.
Yeah.
We may not get him, but I know that he's going to make the call. And we have the draft capital and we have enough players here to make something like that work. And so it's not outside the realm of possibility because, I mean, unless they do what the Cleveland Browns did with Deshaun Watson's contract, which was super smart. I don't know if people caught on to that. I know, Hayes, you can give some insight on that in the chat because I think I heard you say something about it, but like, I don't know if people have been paying attention. They've restructured Deshaun Watson's deal like 4 or 5 times at this point.
Yeah.
And they just keep putting it on as a signing bonus or as
so
bonuses to free up cap
money.
Space.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that the Bears would do something like that, but I don't think it's outside the realm of possibility of that either. So it's like there's ways that the salary cap is not, it's fictitious, right?
So you can manipulate it.
Now, does that mean that what's the name can make a case to keep Michael Parsons? Absolutely. Like that does mean that he can find a way to pay his players, whether it be in bonuses or whatever. Like I do believe Jerry Jones has the bag and his hand doesn't cramp when he's writing checks, like his direct quote. Like I do believe that they can make a move for him, but it's his antics and how he does things in the media that I think will push people away and people losing faith that Dak is going to help them get there. That's what I think is going to lead to us being in that conversation, not a monetary thing, if that makes sense.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. And I mean, Bears Junkie, I hear you. He said Parsons would cost way too much with too many unknowns in his game. I don't know what you mean by unknowns, buddy. I'm gonna be honest with you. I mean, what do we already know about? What has he already proven? He can get sacks. He can pressure the quarterback. He can cover the edge. He can cover wide receivers. Like there's things in his game that he's already proven that we don't have here opposite of Montez Sweat. I mean, DeMarcus Walker is somebody that's good at run defense, but he's not good at, getting to the quarterback as much. You have Austin Booker, who's a rookie who has promise and shown, he can his hair is on fire. He can attack the quarterback, but that's not proven yet. Micah Parsons is already a proven extremely good defensive player in this league. Like if you want him, you got to go out and get him.
Pure
dog, like
pure dog.
Straight up dog. Yeah. So I don't know about that one, but my thing is with the reputation that we're developing in Chicago, I can see us attracting more talent here. And that is one of the reasons why I guess, okay, I could see the door open to someone like a Micah Parsons. It just doesn't seem realistic because I feel like Jerry Jones would be a fool not to find a way to sign him after he deals with Dak. But if that ever happens and Ryan Poles gets on that phone, I feel like the reputation that he's developed with players in the organization, also around the league, that he's going to do right by you, whether it's staying here on the team, whether it's keeping you and Velus Jones, or whether it's also letting you go to a team where you can develop in Justin Fields, or whether it's, hey, we're going to look out for you. You can call me if you got a bad day going on, and Ian Wheeler. Like he covers all the bases when it comes to the type of GM that you want to play for and this team that you want to play for. Like gone are the days where you got to worry about Ryan Pace not even, addressing the media and hiding his face behind the door. Gone are the days where the other guy who name escapes me that Kevin Warren replaced that was just worried about the money side of things, which the McCaskies liked. But yeah, Ted Phillips. And so like we have a new regime, new organization, new way of thinking. It's fresh. It's innovative. And so players around the league, they see that. They see the talent. They also see the way we're constructing contracts with the rookies. Like everything is lined up well for us, for our success now and in the future. And so that's why I think that, yeah, okay, players do want to come here and play for the Bears, because I feel like our window is about to be wide open for some years now.
Absolutely. This actually leads to another thing because clearly we're talking about the Cowboys, how that can open up a way for us to get a dynamic player like Micah Parsons. What is your expectations of Dak this season? Like,
come on, man. You already know how I feel about Dak.
This is for the chat. We're just talking around the league, news around the league. This is a Freestyle Friday. There's only so much Bears you can kind of cover. It's like everyone's preparing for the game. We know what's happening. But let's be for real. Like the around the league, at what point do you think they start to blow this up? Like at what point do you be like, this ain't gonna work?
Well, I'll put it like this. Dak's last year, was very, very good. He threw
Dak
for
was a
4,500
dog.
yards, 36 touchdowns, 9 interceptions with a 105.9 passer rating. On any given Sunday, that's what you want from your quarterback in the season. But when it comes to the playoffs, for whatever reason, and it was Green Bay, right, that took him out handedly. They dogged him. That to me, that's unacceptable. You can't go year after year after year after year of saying, okay, we got this quarterback that we trust. Okay, we got this quarterback that we trust. We've given him all the weapons in the world. CeeDee Lamb, Amari Cooper, I can't remember the other cornerback that you had. Like they've had a infinite amount of elite talent on their team and still do. Ezekiel Elliott, Tony Pollard, Rico Dowdle now, like Deuce Vaughn, like that offensive line with Tyron Smith. Like you have names all over the place with Dallas, and they still couldn't get it done when it mattered the most. And so for me, I feel like in a sense, the season is almost like empty calorie stats. When it's time to actually put on and the spotlight is on,
I can't go.
Dak is. I'm just saying. I understand the season gets you to the playoffs, but when we get to the playoffs, can you perform? What have you done for me then? Nothing.
So here's the thing, and this is not me defending Dak. I don't care. Like realistically, I hope they fall off a cliff so that we can have a chance at Micah Parsons. Like I'm gonna be honest
fall
with
off
you.
a cliff.
I hope not literally, but I hope
I know
like
what you mean.
I hope
I
the
know.
talent, like I hope they start to like suck, and so like Micah Parsons is like, oh, I want to be here, and Jerry Jones gets on the mic and says he ain't gonna pay him. I hope all that stuff happens and we have a chance to get him because I would love to see him in the Bears jersey. That being said, the best team in the league rarely wins.
Unless you're Kansas City.
Kansas
City wasn't really the best team.
Kansas City was not the best team.
You're right.
Kansas City probably wasn't the best team in any of their Super Bowls.
Yeah.
Maybe one.
When they had Tariq, they definitely were that squad.
Tariq, that was definitely squad. But against Philly,
no,
I had Philly.
Philly had a better all around.
I thought Philly had a better all around team. I didn't like Jalen Hurts, but I thought that they had a better all around team.
Yeah, you're right.
Name Mahomes' best receivers without naming Kelsey.
I was just about to say Travis Kelce. Tariq Hill by default. I mean, you mean now?
Now.
Rasheed Rice. Rasheed Rice is the rookie that they got last year. He's up and coming. He's going to be good. That's their guy.
He's going to be good.
They got Hollywood Brown from Baltimore. He's injured right now. But
either,
yeah. But they have him.
They have him.
They also have McCole Hardman. He's back, but he's never lived up to his potential. Because McCole Hardman, I thought was going to be nice. He's been okay in spurts. He's never been special. So that's a guy. And I believe somebody else. The name escapes me, but somebody else.
But like realistically, and it's not to say it's just Travis Kelce because it's still an all-time great realistically. But like let's be for real.
Yeah,
he hasn't had a great receiving core.
No.
He like if you gave Patrick Mahomes what Caleb Williams has, this will be a different ball game. This man probably put up 6,000 yards.
It'll be nasty.
Right?
It'll be nasty.
It's gonna be nasty. So like what I'm saying is like rarely like last year, the 49ers were the best team.
Yes,
they were the best team.
Yes,
they had a quarterback that did more than just game manage. They had skilled players at all your key positions. Like they were the better team on paper.
Yeah,
they lost.
Yeah.
Matchups matter. Context matters. Dallas had not been under pressure like the Green Bay Packers put them under pressure until that day. We keep forgetting, like Dallas still had a top-rated defense. That defense got smoked. They put up, 49 points?
Yeah.
So, let's be for real. It's a team game. Even if Dak is out there trash, how did they get 32 points, and then how did the Green Bay Packers put 49?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So, realistically, I went back and looked at the game. It's like Jordan Love had an out-of-body experience. Like, that's probably the best game he played. That whole defense, which most of the people in this chat and most people around the league had kind of trashed and was up and down on, stepped up in a way. They had a much better day than Dallas did.
Yeah.
In football is just winner takes all. It's just one game. They just had a better day. I don't think that should be besmirch everything else that does. Like if you ask me, hey, best out of 3, which I know it never happened, but realistically, I don't think Dallas loses to Green Bay 2 out of 3 times. I think that day Green Bay just had their number.
So you think they learned from the way that they lost and that they would improve? I mean, that's neither here nor there. To me, I feel like you just got to look at the track record of how they perform when it matters the most. To me, I mean, your signal caller needs to make sure that he's ready for that spotlight. And I feel like Dak is he's not that guy. Oh, yeah, Jeremy Maclin played for the Chiefs for a couple of seasons. Also, your boy from Pittsburgh is back on the Chiefs, too.
It's just a bunch of B receivers.
He used to be the guy after Antonio Brown left.
It's just a bunch of B receivers.
Yeah.
I know. Listen.
Yeah.
Is it anybody you would pick in the first couple rounds of your fantasy draft?
Oh, absolutely not. I mean, maybe Rashee Rice, maybe in the third. No, okay, no, not at all. No. You're right.
Come on, dog.
Unless I'm taking a whole bunch of running backs first, and there's nobody left. Yeah, you're right.
You're not going to pick none of
them. It's just Travis Kelce.
So, like, let's just be for real.
Yeah.
Like, and put things in context. A lot of times the best teams don't win, and it typically comes down to people who have like that it factor. Those players that like just do it. Patrick Mahomes is one of those players. Yeah. It just kind of is what it is. Andy Reid is one of those coaches. You put those together, they make magic happen. It just is what it is.
Yeah, that's true.
But like realistically. Like rolling into it, who's the best team this year?
I mean, San Francisco. You got to look at them again. I mean, they didn't lose him. They just got Ayuk back. I feel like Baltimore got better. They got better players on their team. Philly definitely came up with Saquon. So those three, I feel like,
Philly
are the tops.
I mean, not tanked.
Not tanked. Well, they got a lot of defensive players that left and went to other teams, but I feel like they still have an overall really good squad. They still got A.J. Brown. I mean, they still got some really good players. There was somebody else that just went to Philly that left. Oh, my goodness. I'm forgetting his name, but it was just a weird trade. Oh, Jahan Dotson from the Commanders. I was like, why is the Commanders giving up Jahan Dotson to, of all teams, the Philadelphia Eagles? But, I mean, that's a sneaky under-the-radar pickup there when you already got the second, I can't remember his name, second receiver from Alabama, and then AJ. Like, that's good. They're going to eat. They're going to have a good time over there. So I think those three teams are probably going to be the tops in the league when you're talking about overall roster.
Are there any sleeper teams for you? And then chat, please tune in as well. I want to see your comments. Are there any sleeper teams? Obviously, we know we're the Bears, Kings. We want to be Kings of the North. We're just talking just around the league. Are there any teams that, hey, most of the national media is trash or not even talking about, but you really should be like, they should be on your radar? Do you have any of those?
Bro, I'm going to be honest with you. I overlooked the roster a little bit, but the more and more I'm looking up and down this roster, the Bears might need to make sure that they're ready for week one. The Tennessee Titans have a roster. I mean, Will Levis, okay, yeah, he to me, he kind of reminds me of the last quarterback that was there in Ryan Tannehill that played in Tennessee for a long time. But that roster outside of him, DeAndre Hopkins, Calvin Ridley, Tony Pollard, you got Jeffrey Simmons on the defense. You got your boy that was Jamal Adams. You have a slew of names on that team that are really, really good. And I think we need to make sure that we're prepared. We don't need to make it seem like, even though we say that's a soft schedule, the Titans got some players recently that makes them a stronger team and stronger competition than we probably think. So we need to be ready for them.
Did you say Tyler Boyd already?
No, Tyler Boyd too.
Tyler Boyd,
wide receiver 3. I mean, he's basically going back into his role he had in Cincinnati. Jesus.
Listen, I think Boyd could put a lot more out there than he was able to behind Jamar Chase and
T. Higgins.
There you go. I was just looking for the name. I think they made some crazy moves, and
Hopkins is out week 1. You're right, BG. But I mean,
I'm just talking about overall. Calvin Ridley being there. Calvin Ridley coming back was a crazy, like, people didn't really realize the impact he had.
Yeah.
So he does have a really good. I would say he has a decent to. Well, I wouldn't say good to great. You want to say good to great? I want to say good to great.
I mean, in Atlanta, he was ready. He was about to be one of them ones. He had that season before he got hurt.
Well, how would you rank that receiving core? Let's say it again. Let's say Tyler Boyd, Calvin Ridley, DeAndre Hopkins. Those are good names right there. I ain't gonna lie to you.
I'm trying to say.
Hey, that's some good names right there. So I'm gonna say, would you say that's a good or great receiving core?
I'll just say good because I mean DeAndre Hopkins is kind of past his prime, but I mean he's still a steady force. He kind of reminds me of Larry Fitzgerald. You know, somebody that kind of is aging gracefully. even like with Keenan Allen. So I believe that he's somebody that's still impactful because he just knows how to play the game of football well.
1,000 yards last season.
Calvin Ridley. Oh yeah, 1,000 with the
1,000 yards
Jaguars.
last
Yeah,
season.
absolutely. 8 touchdowns. Yep.
8 touchdowns.
But even before that, like you saw his potential in 2020 before he got hurt with the Falcons, 1,300 yards. 9 touchdowns. Like that's the potential that he has. He's only 29 years old, which is kind of on the fringe of, getting up there. But I still think that they have an overall good team. Tony Pollard, that's a good pickup. He was doing some things in Dallas before he left. And so that could be a running back that might have a really good year. They have just a really sneaky good team. And I just don't think that we should sleep on them the way a lot of people have.
I think it's a good one. And also, Will Levis preseason had a decent preseason.
Yeah.
He didn't. Yeah. He had a decent. I know we don't talk a lot about it, but real football fans who, especially if you've watched most of the games, his preseason was pretty good. And so he reminds me of a young Phillip Rivers.
Yeah.
He reminds me of Phillip Rivers so much.
What, Will Levis?
Will Levis.
I mean, Phillip threw that pill a little bit better. I feel like Will Levis is. He could get there. I'm not gonna say that he can't be a Phillip Rivers. Phillip Rivers really was pretty special in his prime. He was good. I could see that. I could see that as a potential for him. So, maybe not this year, but going forward.
Someone else had the Falcons as a sleeper, and I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna lead off just because everyone knows I'm a Kirk fan.
Of course,
right?
Yeah, of course. I mean he's making a difference.
Time out. JJ's best season. When I say JJ, I'm talking about Justin Jefferson.
Okay.
Who was it with?
It was with Kirk, obviously.
Stephon Diggs' second best season. Kirk gets that ball out.
Yeah, Adam Thielen. Kirk.
Like, Kirk may not win in the postseason, but what I like about it is, no, he's not mobile. But if you have big names on your receiving core, they're getting the rock.
Yeah, Dalvin Cook as a passing back.
He's going to get them the ball.
Yeah.
That's what you want your QB to do. And I just prefer QBs who lead with that. That's all my thing is. If you can run and put up, like if Kirk could run 500 yards every season and have wheels. I mean, listen, that would be amazing. He'd be golden. The people who can do both, Patrick Mahomes is literally my favorite quarterback. Like, he can do both, but he gets the ball out first. He don't run first.
Yeah. He looks to pass.
What's that?
He scrambles
Who's
to pass.
that tight end? He was so underrated. He didn't get no love in fantasy because he wasn't getting the rock. Who was that?
Talking about Kyle Pitts?
Kyle Pitts.
Oh, dude, I picked him up again.
That boy's
He's got to hit. And that's the reason why I have trust in him. The man coming out of Florida ran like a 4.3. Like he's a receiver. He's a receiver in the tight end's body, bro. Like he is a beast. Like he just needs the passer to be better. And so now that you got Kirk there, Kyle Pitts is about to eat. Calvin Ridley. I mean, not Calvin Ridley.
Jesus.
I can't remember the receiver now, but
didn't he get the one from us? Dak. What's his name? What is? Oh, Jesus.
Bijan Robinson, obviously. You know, Joel's boy is there.
Down there.
Darnell Mooney is there. Yeah, Darnell Mooney is okay to me. I feel like Mooney is going to be okay as a wide receiver 3, but their main guy, and goodness gracious, I don't know why I'm blanking on him, but their main guy is going to be really good. He's been in the league year for 2 years now. I'm gonna look him up real quick, but just to kind of look around the league, there was one other guy that I wanted to mention that's been in the news too. This is a former household name.
Rondale Moore? Well,
no.
Drake London. I'm sorry.
Drake London. There you go, Drake London. This is another household name that has been in the news and has not been relevant for years, whether it be due to injury or just, it just hasn't been back to himself since about 2019. And that's Michael Thomas. Michael Thomas is in the news for, I want to say, a violation of the league's personal conduct policy related to charges of battery and criminal misdemeanor from last year. And so, man, this is a bad trajectory. Like, he just went down.
That man got paid and was just like,
that man got paid. And then when Drew Brees retired, he retired paid, basically. Like, his last good season was 2019. Good Lord. He had 1,700 yards, 9 touchdowns. That is utterly ridiculous. But after that, 438, 171, 448. I mean, the drop off is insane.
Drop off is insane. He got paid and checked out. So that's sad.
So that was another guy in the news for that.
I got one sleeper team, and it's mainly because I saw what this guy did in a situation where he absolutely had nothing, and he put up crazy tape. Crazy work, like Shady would say.
You
Crazy
say
work.
he had nothing?
He had nothing around him. They took everything from him, and he made something out of nothing. Now, it's been a while, but I want to give context. I think the Cleveland Browns are going to make some noise. Here's why I say that.
Okay.
Here's why I say that. One, yes, I do believe, even as weird as the situation was, I do believe that Deshaun Watson still has the potential to be one of the best QBs in the league. What he did on his previous team before all the stuff got weird, he had nothing. He literally had nothing, and he put up
on his previous team.
I mean, think about it.
DeAndre Hopkins in his prime, and Will
when
Fuller.
When they took him away, he still put up crazy yards. He took
who away?
When they took D-Hop away, because D-Hop got traded first. D-Hop got sent away first, and I think he still put up 4,500 yards that season.
After that, yeah.
Like even with that, like Watson didn't have a lot around him, and realistically, we should have drafted him in Chicago. Let's go. But Watson,
that's what I wanted. Yeah, absolutely. Fox wanted him too. Yeah.
Watson couldn't practice or be around the team while he was going through his ordeal. Mm-hmm. So you're going to see some regression naturally from that.
Yeah.
When we finally saw him on the field, yeah, he did look rusty. He looked like trash.
He definitely
but in
like
full
trash.
Context, it's like he looks like trash because he hasn't had the same runway as most of the other people we're comparing him to. Now coming into this season, 2 years in, training camp, stuff like that, I mean, unless he's like seriously injured and there's something that's going on with that shoulder that they haven't disclosed, I do expect him to eventually bounce back. He's not in a rush situation to me. His situation is totally different. They stopped him from playing football, and you need some time to ramp up for that. And he didn't play super bad. Like, he wasn't bad. When he was healthy, I think his record was 5-1. He's 5-1 healthy when he was with on the Browns. Then he got hurt again.
When he started with the Browns, yeah.
He was 5-1 and then he got hurt again.
He started off pretty well.
He started off pretty good. Yeah. Not what we were accustomed to, but he started off pretty good. Now with more options, they cleared up some cap space. They're going to make some other moves. His receivers, he got Amari Cooper.
Jerry Jeudy. Elijah Moore.
Yep. Like, he's going to make some noise.
Njoku has always been a steady tight end. You like Njoku as well.
Yeah.
Of course, you always got Nick Chubb. He's coming back healthy. Maybe like a quarter into the season, he might be back. And so that's always a name because Nick Chubb to me is one of the better running backs all around, whether it be pass catching or running the ball.
Hey, Johnny, it's not a. I see stuff like this a lot. It's not an excuse if you're really taking it.
Talking about Caleb.
Talking about.
You're talking about Deshaun. Like, is this a make or break year? Because I saw D-Dog say it's a make or break year. It is a make or break
year, but if he's talking about Caleb, then he's a rookie. That's the excuse. Yeah. Right? If you're talking about Deshaun Watson, there is no excuse. This is why it is a make or break year, but I think he's going to be more prepared for it, and he's actually seen – we've actually seen him do some of the things we want him to do. Yeah. So it's not like a foreign concept there.
Yeah.
Let's move on. You want to switch sports? You want to switch sports?
Man, let's get it, man. I got some on the Bulls.
Hey, let's switch sports until let's finish this out on some Bulls talk. Oh, there we go. How do you feel about this roster? Now, here's the one thing I don't like. I'm hearing a lot of this. I've seen that. It's more of a fan thing. It's nothing that they've actually said. But Lonzo Ball is not the starting point guard.
Of course not.
If Lonzo Ball comes back as a starting point guard on this, you've totally missed the point of getting I just lost his name. Who's this?
Josh Giddey.
You just totally missed the point. Josh Giddey is the starting point guard.
Absolutely.
He should be through and through. The question is, who's the starting two guard for me? Because Zach is still on the team. Zach is still a better player than Kobe White. Don't care what nobody says.
Yes.
So he's still better. So who's the starting two guard? Because we know who the point guard should be. So who's the starting two guard?
Well, if all things are equal, I mean, obviously you're going to start Zach because you're not going to put somebody that you paid that kind of money coming back healthy to come off the bench, and he's not going to want to come off the bench. Like, let's just be honest. Like that's a conversation that's not going to be had. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Kobe is used to in most seasons coming off the bench, so I think he wouldn't have an issue with that. You wouldn't put him at the 3. Obviously, he's too small. So I mean, if you're talking about going out there with the starting lineup of Giddey, LaVine, my boy P. Will. Maybe who's at the 3? Who's at the 4? Well, Vooch is still going to be there, and then maybe Ayo. I'm trying to think who else am I missing that's going to be in the starting lineup over them, because Kobe would definitely come off the bench if that's the case.
Now, the interesting thing for me is I don't think you can have Kobe come off the bench.
That lineup wouldn't make sense though, height wise. Like, what would the defense look like if you had Zach and Kobe out there at the same time?
Well, let's play the game.
Okay.
How tall is Kobe White?
6'4"?
6'5".
Man, that man is 6'4".
That
hair is 6'5".
They got him at 6'5".
That's that fro. It's throwing people off.
He's 6'5". How tall was DeMar DeRozan?
DeMar DeRozan was 6'7", 6'8".
DeMar DeRozan 6'6". He's the same height as
Hey man,
he's the
let me
same,
look up this stats, man. I thought that man was 6'7".
He's the same height as Zach LaVine. Zach LaVine could be the starting three. And in this era of positionless basketball, I mean, there's not a lot of threes he can't guard.
Yeah.
The only three he can't guard is LeBron.
I think you're being a little too nice with that one.
Name a three he can't guard. KD? I'll give you KD. KD's playing a 4. They got KD as a 4. So who can he guard? Kawhi? He gonna be there?
Paul George?
Kawhi gonna be there?
Paul George? He can't guard Paul George.
Paul George is the 2, but even if Paul George is a 3, he could guard
2.
PG. I'm not saying he's gonna be successful, but he could stay in front of him.
Yeah,
and Paul George is not the same Paul George.
Yeah, it's still PG. I'm not putting Kobe on PG. Zach. Well, you say Zach on PG, right?
Zach on PG?
Yeah, no. Zach's defense has always been suspect to me. The only time we talked about Zach's defense being okay is when he actually had that as a role on Team USA, when everybody else was like, you score, Zach, you commit to defense. And you saw the potential. But when it came back to him coming back to the Bulls, it was like he showed it in 3 games and he reverted right back to being a turnstile. Like, I don't trust Zach's defense. I really don't.
I don't trust Kobe's defense.
I trust his hustle. I trust his will and desire to play defense over Zach. I've seen Kobe play desirable defense, like the 1-2. Like, to me, there's a difference between him and Zach on the actual try hard, part of playing defense.
I'm with you. I do feel like Kobe was in a situation where he's fighting for his spot.
Yeah.
He definitely went out there and claimed it. And I've seen Zach LaVine do it. I have not seen Kobe White put on a defensive masterclass that Zach LaVine hasn't put on before in his career. There is not one game where I can say, "Ooh, Kobe did that," and like Zach can't. There's not one game that exists that way.
That's true. I mean,
Alex
they're known
Caruso
for the offense.
has.
Yeah, Alex is known for his defense.
But like, if you all want to say, like, the whole comment on defense is like, yo, as fast paced as the league is now, his defense is taking a back seat for a lot of people. Now it's literally about.
I won't say defense is taking a back seat, because the best teams in the league, the ones that get to the playoffs and the championships, are the ones that still play good defense. And then the ones that don't are the ones that are on the outside looking in. I think the overall league is catered to more offense and more scoring, more three-point shooting. But when it comes to those teams that make it to the end, like Milwaukee, the likes of Denver, even the Lakers, like the Miami, like, they commit to actually playing maybe not hard-nosed defense that we used to see in the 90s or the early 2000s, but I mean, they commit to playing better defense than most teams.
And they have to, though, because of their style of play. The Lakers' style of play, they didn't have a lot of premier shooting. They didn't have a lot of shooters at all. That was a main knock on them. So how do you circumvent that? You control the pace of play by slowing the game down. You play a half-court set, and then on top of that, you force the other team to do so, and you grind it out through defense.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna wear you down, because guess what? You can't do both. You can't sprint up and down and stick me in this half-court set every single time. It's not gonna happen. You're gonna get tired eventually, and that's old man basketball. But it works. It really does. Like, what's the team who had a really high pace of play?
Indiana.
Indiana. There you go.
Yeah.
Indiana. What they played the Knicks. What happened? That grinded out defense got to him eventually. The Knicks, by and large, I mean, this is probably going to be tongue in cheek, realistically, but like, I think the Pacers have better shooters. I personally think the Pacers have better shooters.
They probably do. Yeah.
But who won?
You saying then the Knicks?
Then the Knicks.
Yeah.
But who won? The Knicks did.
Yeah.
So it's like, realistically, like,
yeah, I think they have a better stars on the Knicks. Like, Tyrese Halliburton is clearly a very good player, but I think that the Knicks have better stars for those in the moment plays, like those moments where you got to clutch up, like Jalen Brunson, Randall.
Yeah.
Who am I blanking on that they got? Even the guy from OG
Jalen,
Anunoby.
OG,
Like you had some players
Hart, Hart does everything.
Josh
for
Hart,
him.
and he came to play in the playoffs. So yeah, I look at those players.
They just got a buddy from the Nets. Oh, what's his name?
Mikael Bridges. Boy, that's nasty.
That's a squad over there.
That's
I'll
nasty.
say this: the Bulls don't have a personnel problem; they have a coaching problem.
We know already about Billy D and the
under
the table contract or whatever's going on with that. Like, yeah, I think that's part of the what needs to change quickly.
I'm gonna stand on this right now. A better coach would have made DeMar and Zach work.
Yeah.
A better coach can make this situation work.
Yeah.
This situation right now, your starting lineup should be Josh Giddey, Kobe White, Zach LaVine, I guess P. Will, and Vooch.
I guess, brother.
And Vooch. That should be your starting lineup.
Or the guy that they got from Indiana if they trade Vooch.
Yeah.
Jalen something.
So like that should be your starting lineup.
Yeah.
And you should be able to make that work. And I could roll that lineup out there with a better coach on any given day. And we're gonna have a better record. I think so. But I digress.
And real quick, man, and I do want to show some love. I know we don't always talk about this team, but since the boss is not here, Pat the designer is not here. Oh, you doggone right. You put it up there. Jay Grizz, you're right. I appreciate you. Thank you for reminding me because I'm looking at the game right now. The Cubs are up 7-3, and I apologize because, we're going to get into a little bit of baseball. They are currently 68-66. This is a team that is not really going to make any noise. I feel like maybe if they make it into the playoffs, they'll probably be a first round exit or a wild card exit. But the fact that they got back to being over 500 says a lot for the future. I love the future of this team. I love some of the pitches, the arms that they got for the bullpen. I love Shota Imanaga is a beast. I love the fact that Cody Bellinger is getting back to form. Seiya Suzuki. Like, there's a lot of really, really good talent. Even your boy Preco Armstrong is killing the league with his speed and his outfield play. Like, the Cubs are putting that team together. They're doing a really good job of being competitive now, game in and game out. I just saw the game. The last game I saw, they were like down 10-3 to the Pittsburgh Pirates, I believe, and then won like 15-10 or something like that. Like, they came back in the last second. So this is a team that you should be excited for in the future. I feel like maybe another year or so we'll be talking about the Cubs being a legitimate contender in the National League Central and also going to the playoffs. But yeah, 7-3 right now. Cubs are leading the I believe it's the Nationals.
Are you sure they ain't gonna make the playoffs?
I don't know. They're 10 games behind Milwaukee in the as far as in the division. But when it comes to the wild card, I'm not really sure. Since we don't ever talk about the Cubs or the Sox, man, I don't really do a whole lot of due diligence for this show for the baseball because Pat makes sure that we don't talk about the Cubs, and he ain't talking about his team because they're not winning. So, I'll check that out real quick. I want to see, and maybe you can put it in the chat, Jay Grizz, anybody else that loves the Cubs. How far are we out of the wild card standings? Because I feel like that's the only reason why way we would get into the playoffs. I don't think we're going to catch the Brewers unless we just go on some crazy hot streak.
I'm gonna say this though. Did you see that photo of the Sox attendance at their last game?
No. What bro, it was so empty. A black hole?
It was so empty.
Dang, dude.
It looked like the you know how sometimes when you see like the staffers cleaning up, it looked like that.
They had people sweeping while the game was going on.
It looked so bad. I mean, now mind you, it was stupid hot for that game too. But like it looked so bad. It looked so bad. I be feeling bad for them, but I mean, at the end of the day, I might just go there just to I guess get the food.
Just to enjoy. Hey, the food is good though. The hot dogs are on point.
Hot dogs be on point. But it's like just to say what's up to something. Maybe I get something autographed. I don't think I want an autograph from anybody on this team.
Hey, but Crimson, watch your mouth, brother. Did you not know that we won the championship in 2016? That was 8 years ago. You still talking about 109 years straight, man? You clearly didn't watch when the Cubs won it all. Come on now. You must be the Sox fan, man.
I'm gonna say watch this your mouth. Best time I've ever had at a sporting event was at a Cubs stadium.
Oh no, they go banging. Nuts. Oh yeah, they know how to
say whatever you want to say. It's a party.
Yeah,
it's a great
party.
Time.
It's a party. Yeah.
And last time I went with Pat. We almost fought. I just want y'all to know that was Fat Pat.
Pat actually went to a Cubs game?
Yeah, we went.
Oh, it's crazy. He went to a Cubs game.
We was like right behind home plate.
Oh, nice seats. Okay.
Dog.
All right.
We almost fought. That's a big dude.
Jay Grizz says Cubs are 5 games back of the wild card. It's still a steep hill to climb. Well, if they're 5 games back, I mean, with the way they're playing now, we'll see, man. I want to say it's how many games in the season? 162?
You asking the wrong person. You know I don't care about no goddamn baseball. Listen, y'all be
like
sitting there watching that.
That might be a steep hill to climb. You're right. There's only a few games left, so we'll see. I mean, it might be a good way to end the season. But overall, I mean, hey, we got a lot to look forward to as far as Chicago sports and potential. We got the Blackhawks, obviously, with Bedard and that second overall pick this year. But obviously, we know this is a football town. We're focused in on the Bears and what they're going to be doing this year. So it's exciting times for me.
It is exciting times, but you know what? It's time to go.
It is time to go.
It's time to go. So listen, we appreciate all you all who tuned in to another episode of When See the Breeze.
Yes, sir.
All you all who've liked, who've shared, who subscribed, who've left that 5-star review because y'all knew what to do. We appreciate all of you all. But yeah, it's time to go. So on behalf of myself, P-Kid, the pettiest man alive, you know who I am. You know what I do. You know what it is. And my man right here, JC, in the place to be.
Make sure I get a haircut. Okay. Since everybody's talking about it, I get a haircut.
Oh, Jesus.
Shut up, Hayes.
Oh, God. Hey. What? Hey, listen.
You know I got to have a good time, man. Hey.
Congratulations.
Bro, none of that stuff. Come on. Dust off my shoulder, bro. You know, we all having a good time, man. Love y'all.
Oh, Jesus. Come on, dog. I wanted to. Now you about to have everybody roasting you in the chat when this thing go. Man. Hey, y'all be safe out there.